Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since I made a video, and that's what we're going to do. And what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about ETH. And the reason why I want to focus on ETH is because 2 months ago, right? 2 months ago, I made a video. And the label of the video, the title of the video was, "Are you paying attention to ETH?" And this was a culmination of content that I've been putting out across all platforms, and it was flashing the warning signals about ETH, right? And I'm almost certain we were probably the first people flashing these warning signals on ETH, because 2 months ago everyone was very bearish and sentiment was very bad, but we were seeing things via the ETH USD chart, the ETH dominance chart, and the ETH Bitcoin chart on the monthly time frame that was telling me that outperformance in ETH season was on the way. And let alone since then, ETH is up over 150%, right? So congratulations to anyone who watched that video and maybe took advantage of some ETH beta plays. You're probably up even more. But again, everything is just playing out to exactly how we knew it would, right? Because all of the warning signs were there. Warning signs that have never been seen before. I mean, we're talking about, it was so blatant and so obvious. It was so historical, especially being on the monthly time frame, that it was something that we had to ring the alarm bells on, okay? And we're getting really close to our goal, right? And we're not there yet, but we're getting very close to our overall goal, and that is ETH breaking its previous all-time high at roughly 48.50, give or take a dollar or two, and breaking into price discovery. So let's just jump right into it. We're gonna just hash over what we talked about, hash over the indicators, and then we'll see, and then I'll talk about where I think we're headed. So first and foremost, like I said, when we had this monthly demand candle down here, right, I was popping up showing some charts that I said, wait a second, something historical is going on here with ETH. Anytime in the past that we've ever had these monthly demand candles like this, we have went on to have major rallies, right? And it's only happened this obvious at major support levels 3 times before this, okay? And again, ever since that monthly demand candle and then the follow through, we've seen nothing but up only pretty much for ETH, okay? Indicator-wise, we were talking about how the monthly market cipher was starting to curl over on a momentum wave with increasing money flow, and that we said, once this buy signal confirms, which it ended up doing, we're going to see more aggressive moves to the upside. That has played out. Whale money flow, we said it was pretty much straight line down at the time, but I said, listen, it's tied, close to being tied for the lowest it's ever been in history. This is likely going to reverse soon. Let alone, you're seeing the reversal on the whale money flow on ETH. Nowhere near the top section yet, okay? Stock RSI on the monthly time frame. Look what was going on here, right? And we'll just zoom in a little bit on this. This is what your monthly stock RSI looked like. You were getting this. Remember I talked about the V-shape turnaround on the stock RSI a few months ago? Much different than here. In here, while these both produced major rallies, this was a very strong reversal on the stock RSI, the likes of which we've never seen on the monthly time frame. That was evidence again that ETH was going to start outperforming. Monthly time frame RSI, right? I don't know why that's crooked like that. Let's straighten that out. But again, right? Nowhere near previous all-time high levels. But look, there you go. You got your breakout on the monthly time frame on the downtrend, right? We've been in a downtrend, a macro downtrend on the RSI since April of 2021. You're just now breaking out above that, okay? Each cycle top has come up in this 80 to 90 range, okay? I should say 90 to 98. It's higher than that, okay? So the 90 to 98 range, currently at a 64, right? This is incredible stuff, right? This is stuff that we were looking at, though, that we were talking about. Hey, big things are coming. Look at the monthly MACD on ETH, right? Another indicator that's just been coiling up for a long time, right? Coiling up for a long time here. Look at this, right? Here, let's just straighten that out to make it look pretty, right? Look at your histograms. December of 2018, September of 2022, March of 2025. Your histograms on the monthly time frame getting smaller and smaller. Same thing on the bullish side, smaller and smaller, coiling up for a big move. You're now just seeing the monthly MACD cross at the apex of this pattern on the monthly MACD. And by the end of this month, I'm sure we'll probably see a durable cross to the upside right at the zero line. Right at the zero line. Okay? Let's zoom in a little bit so you can actually see the significance of this. Right? Look at that. Look at how this monthly MACD has been coiling up since December of 2019. And you're just now getting a breakout at the zero level. Right? Things are just getting started for ETH, folks. Right? We called the bottom on ETH dominance. We called the bottom on ETH versus Bitcoin. We called for ETH season back in May, right? Probably the only person who was doing that, right? With hard data to back it up, not just, shilling like the rest of the people out there, right? We were calling it with hard data and hard facts, right? Let's look at ETH dominance. Look at that. Look at that. Remember this video? Look, everything is still there from the last video. Remember? Go back and watch the video. The link will be in the description. First and foremost, guys, like and subscribe to the video if you haven't already. And put notifications on. Put your notifications on so that you get alerts anytime I make a video or come out with a YouTube short. Obviously, the information is extremely valuable. Look at, circled this off, and said ETH dominance is likely bottoming. Why? Well, what did I point out? Remember, it's so crazy how a couple months can make such a big difference. We have flashed this buy signal on the monthly time frame, way down at the most oversold levels in history. Monthly time frame whale money flow tied for the lowest in history. Monthly stock RSI was bottomed out. Back when I made the video, I said we're about to cross this moving average here. Monthly RSI is bottomed out. I also said monthly MACD getting ready to make a cross. We haven't done it yet, but we're about to. All the signs were pointing to massive ETH outperformance, but mainly, forget the indicators, hitting this major support level from back in 2019 and 2020. Like, when you have all those monthly indicators lining up the way they were lining up, and you have price structure hitting a historical level of support like this, yes, ETH season was on the way, okay? So it was very exciting, very, very exciting stuff. Same for ETH versus Bitcoin. Let's take a quick look at that right here. Same thing, right? We pointed this out. We said, look, you can watch the altcoin pairing charts against Bitcoin all you want, but ETH is the main altcoin. And I think that was a big mistake that people were making, is they were getting honed in. Certain influencers, certain accounts were getting honed in on others versus Bitcoin, when in reality, the bottom was ETH versus Bitcoin, the way it should always be, the lead altcoin, right? The lead altcoin showed the way. And yeah, the bottom is obviously in on this. We knew it was back here. But the same thing, monthly time frame. Look at how the indicators look the exact same. I pointed this out. This was huge. Look at the monthly consolidation on the stock RSI was over 1,000 days. It lasted 761 days back in the previous cycle. Now look, ripping to the upside. Monthly RSI ripping to the upside. MACD cross on the way, right? Now listen, are there going to be pullbacks on ETH versus Bitcoin? Of course. Is there going to be, I don't want it to be a situation where we get a pullback on ETH versus Bitcoin next month or sometime this month or whatever, and it looks like this video came out right before that. No, we called this months ago. We were prepared months ago. We're in the Patreon. We're in spot plays like Uniswap, Chainlink, like coins that are associated with ETH, whether they be betas or on the same chain, that are up over 100% right now from the lows. So congratulations to those who took those trades. I think we're up like 90% on Chainlink, over 115% on Uniswap. Ethereum Classic, I think we're up like 60%, right? So again, just something we were able to identify, and it was a big call, and I'm proud of it. I really am proud of it. So I wanted to just come on here and give you an update about it and brag about it a little bit, because we deserve that. You gotta pat yourself on the back when you make really good calls like this. Beyond that, let's take a look at Total 2 real quick, because Total 2 is ETH. Look at, with all the other altcoins, and as you can see, look, we still have work to do, right? So let me end the video by saying we've done a lot, we've accomplished a lot, but the last line in the sand remains, right? We have not broken the $1.71-1.72 trillion level on Total 2. That is, this zone, this yellow box, is the biggest resistance for ETH and Total 2. Right? Okay. And then as it goes for just ETH itself, we still need to break this last line in the sand resistance. Okay. That being the 48.60, 48.50 level so that we can go into price discovery. So in the short term, if you're late to the market, if you're not in, no reason to be FOMOing at these levels because you're going to end up getting yourself hurt. You should have been in from much lower. You should wait for nice pullbacks in order to allocate properly. But until we break these levels, I do want you guys to just err on the side of caution, right? Be careful out there. Don't be buying into 4-year major historical resistance levels, right? That's never smart. That will get you hurt. Total 2, if we just go down to the weekly time frame, you could see that the resistance we are facing currently is obviously this zone between 1.5 trillion and 1.72 trillion. We're in the middle of that at 1.59. But also we have the you have this downtrending RSI resistance also on the weekly time frame, okay? So look, we haven't broken that either, okay? So again, there's some resistance that we face. That we're not in the clear. This is not the video where I'm going to title it, "The Bull Market Has Begun." Oh, that's it. Time to go to the moon. No, when we break these key weekly downtrending RSI resistance levels, when we break through the 1.72 trillion, when ETH durably breaks past 48.50, then we'll be making the videos and going live saying the real bull market is here. But until then, right, proceed with caution, be smart. But overall, the ETH dominance call, the ETH versus Bitcoin call that we made a few months ago has played out beautifully. It continues to play out. And I think there will be pullbacks, but I think overall we are on the back half of this bull market, meaning that altcoins and ETH are going to start outperforming more durably than usual. And that is also because we now have easing that is being projected. We always talk about monetary policy, right? Well, look at the Fed watch projections. You have a rate cut projection at 90+% in September, and you have rate cut projections for October and December. Okay, so that's a big deal. When you have that recipe mixed with those bottoming calls that we made on the monthly time frame, you have the perfect recipe for altcoin outperformance. Obviously, we'll keep monitoring the macro to make sure nothing crazy happens, because if something does happen, it will affect price action. It will affect ETH's ability to outperform. It will affect altcoins. It will affect Bitcoin dominance. So we have to track all of these things in real time, okay? But in the meantime, we're looking good. We're at major resistance. Be careful. Obviously, you can see I have some major price targets, right? Major price targets that I like to watch. Same goes for total 2. All right, we got some price targets, just macro fibs, nothing crazy. Some trend lines, some macro fibs that we'll keep an eye on in the future. We're not obviously even anywhere near these levels yet. We still have work to do. We need to break these levels. But beyond that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comment below. If you're looking to join the Patreon, the link is in the description. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. We'll just continue to hit the nail on the head, guys. That's what we do over here. We keep it real. We're down to earth. We don't make false claims. We live in the reality world, right? And we're really good at doing it. So if you guys have any questions, please just ask and comment below. You guys have a good day. Peace.